Hey everybody, welcome to Cannonball Sports. My name is Joey Serva. My co-host is Zach Carrick. We're two students from Virginia with a passion for sports. I am sick. The weather's nice. I'm going to let Zach give us our new exciting detail about this episode.
Well, hey everybody, here's Zach, and we have a very exciting special guest here. His name is Sumeet Saini. He's been our friend since freshman year of college, and we're very excited because Joey and I taught him everything he needs to know about football. And he's very excited today because he's a Chiefs fan. So I'll let him introduce himself a little bit further now.
Hey, what's happening, y'all? Yeah, thanks for having me on the show. Yeah, I'm the resident Chiefs fan. We've been friends since freshman year, and they got me hooked on football, and ever since then, it's been a very happy marriage, especially the past week or so.
All right, well, thanks to me for introducing yourself. Me and Jerry are gonna give our thoughts real quick, and then we're gonna swing it to Sumeet as a little bit of a bias opinion here. All right. So, Joey, what did you think about the Super Bowl this time around?
Yeah, so Chiefs winning in a pretty dominant fashion, 31 to 20. I almost said 31 to 50. I have 54 stuck in my head because I keep messing up the Super Bowl number.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, definitely just a fun game to watch. A lot of back and forth. Really enjoyed watching both teams. First half, of course, a lot more interesting than the second, I think. Just lots of like drama, turnovers by both teams. Both teams making plays on every side of the ball, every position. And just really fun to watch. We watched with our friends in their dorm room, a whole bunch of us. We had some snacks. Zach and I made queso.
Ooh, yeah,
mostly Zach, head chef queso Zach.
So good.
Yep. And yeah, I mean, I'm just definitely pleased with the product. A lot more exciting than last year.
I mean, the bar was set kind of low, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed watching Damian Williams. I mean, I think he should have gotten MVP.
I agree. We'll get into that a little later.
Definitely fun to watch. Yeah, and what do you think?
I thought it was a great game. I thought it was very evenly matched throughout the entire game, with the exception of maybe the last 6 minutes or so when the Chiefs' comeback was. But other than that, I mean, we had great performances by the Chiefs and the 49ers through most of the game.
I thought you were going to say Shakira and J-Lo.
Oh, I mean, they were great too. But but yeah, the game was really, really good. Like I said before, the bar was set really, really low. Because last year's was 13-3 or something like that. It was kind of boring, 4 scores the entire game. But in this game there were 4 scores in the first half, so it was at least action packed. It was a little bit slow at the beginning. I think two teams both went 3 and out, or they both punted, or something like that. Or no, excuse me, San Francisco got
3 and out, and then San Fran
got a field goal. So it was a little bit of a slow start, but that happens sometimes. And once they got the feel of the game, I feel like it went a little quicker. And overall, I actually thought that the Chiefs did a not great job of stopping Mostert and Coleman. They were getting 5-6 yard gains. I mean, that's not good, but for a top rushing defense like the Chiefs, I thought that was something that was going to kind of be their Achilles heel in the end. But they ended up swallowing up Mostert pretty well in the second half, and they got their own ground game going great with Damian Williams. I don't know if you noticed that as much as I did. Yeah. Also, they did a good job of getting to Mahomes. DeForest Buckner very quietly had 2.5 sacks, I think. So
yeah, both teams had interesting things, especially with the offense. I thought what the Niners were doing with Deebo Samuel was really, really interesting. They would just kind of do those little touch passes to him in the backfield, or just kind of do some cheeky reverses and stuff like that. And he was making it work. I don't know if that was something they did in the regular season, but every time it seemed like Deebo Samuel got the ball, he made a play with it. Mm-hmm. And I think that they didn't really do that much in the second half, and that might have been part of what killed them. But of course,
maybe they were doing that a lot. There was at one point where I think he wanted to throw it, and then he ended up running for the first down. And so even when those plays weren't working, they ended up working. Yeah. So I think everything was going the San Francisco 49ers way.
Yeah.
Towards the beginning of the game for sure.
Juszczyk had 1 touchdown. He almost had 2.
Yeah,
we were all really rooting for
fullback
cool, touchdowns.
Yeah,
we like Juszczyk a lot. And but yeah, I will say the big players, of course, being the Redskins legends. They are now on the Chiefs. Rashad Breeland and what's the other guy?
Kendall Fuller.
Kendall Fuller. Yeah, making 2 big picks for them. And yeah, definitely an interesting element. I kind of want to hear from Sumeet though. How did it feel being a Chiefs fan?
I agree. I think it'll be interesting to hear.
Yeah, so I spent most of the Super Bowl just honestly dying at the restaurant I was at because I was also sick. But
Am I the only one that's not sick here? I guess I am.
yeah, but overall, I wouldn't say I was never anxious, but I was definitely very confident because I knew, especially after the Texans game, that this Chiefs team was on a mission. And it's one of those things where, like, I feel like the 49ers, and almost everyone agrees, like, they're the more complete team, they're the more talented team overall on both sides of the ball. But I feel like we play with a sort of swagger, a sort of heart that you can't really match. And so even if you're down 10 with 6 or 7 minutes to go in the Super Bowl, or you're in this trenches type of battle that the first half was, being 10-10 for most of the half, like, I just feel like we had the type of heart that it keeps you in the game. Like, I don't know if you all remember, but there was a clip of Tyrann Mathieu literally yelling at the defense at one point, being like, basically, get your stuff together, like, let's go. And then you saw, like, the defense really started stepping up because there were a couple plays where San Francisco was trying to convert on a critical third down or whatnot, and the defense just stepped up and made a play when it had to. And that's something that, as a Chiefs fan, we really haven't had since the early 2010s. The other thing is, I think being down 10, Andy Reid, I feel like he got angry. Like, because when you're down 7, it's like you're almost comfortable. You're like, all right, we can score. But when you're down 10, a light sort of flicked on his head, I feel, and then he just opened the offense up. He was like, he just pulled out all the stops. It's a Super Bowl. You leave everything on the table. And I feel like that's what they did in the fourth quarter, because they were trying the usual, Andy Reid loves his motions, his reverses. They even had a trick play that Eric Bieniemy ran in the first quarter that was based on a Rose Bowl play from, I think, like 1947. So I think they figured out what worked, and they just ran with it in the fourth quarter. And I think that beyond that, the Chiefs are a team that adjusts very well throughout the game. Because, as you've seen in every playoff game, and even during the regular season, we might start slow, but especially in the second quarter and the second half, we really are that team that can take the game away. I don't know if you all remember the Raiders game from earlier in the season where we scored like 21 or 24 points. It was just some crazy amount in the second quarter, and then just adjusted perfectly in the second half. But that's what we do. We might play catch up during the first and third quarters after, but once we kind of catch on to what the other team's doing, I think we were really able to effectively almost shut down San Francisco, because if you think about it, they only scored 20 points, and for an offense that at one point was scoring on average, I want to say 25 or 30 points a game, that's pretty impressive, especially against our defense, which has had its rough spots throughout the year. I mean, they have steadily gotten better, and Steve Spagnuolo deserves a lot of credit with that. I mean, he's coached 2 Super Bowl winning defenses now, and I mean, when they fired Bob Sutton and hired Steve Spags, I was a little shaky about that, but hey, he's just done an amazing job. And the other thing is, there was the 49ers are all healthy, the Chiefs are all healthy, but lots of people don't know that the players on our IR, like Juan Thornhill, who was our emerging star safety on the other side of Matthew, or Alex Okafor, or Colin Sanders, who were all players who were on IR, who were critical in our defensive rotation, especially in our run stopping, which is something that we thought we need big time against the 49ers. They were all gone, and we still managed to win. And I think it just goes back to the fact that the Chiefs just played with such emotion that they were set on winning, even though at times we had bad luck. Because I think that one of the picks that Patrick threw was honestly not his fault. It just bounced off the hands of Tyreek. And
that was a total Tyreek Hill fault.
Yeah. It was just a tip drill, essentially. And so I do think that he deserves Super Bowl MVP, just because if you take out that one run, I know Joey's looking at me right now like, oh gosh, but if you take out that one run. I mean, it wasn't really a garbage time run because everything matters in the Super Bowl. But if you take out that one run at the end of the game, he had like an okay game. And I mean, I understand that, there's the whole, like, you gotta set the tempo. You can't just throw the ball. You gotta run the ball here and there. But, like, I mean, he had a good game. Like, I'm thankful for what he did and how he contributed in keeping the Niners defense on their heels. But I think that in the end, the Niners really dared Patrick to throw the ball. And then the Chiefs did the same thing. Patrick was able to come through and do it. At the end, you saw Jimmy G just choke the game away. And that's the thing. Like, teams have always been daring Patrick to throw the ball. And, he always delivers.
All right, Joey, your thoughts? I can see you kind of want to get in on here.
Yeah, definitely. Sumeet, that was a really well spoken.
Very well.
He doesn't have a lot of experience with this, and I just want to say great job, Sumeet. Definitely.
Yeah, that was excellent.
And I have to agree with him. I had my first experience watching one of my teams win a championship this summer with the Nationals, and that heart that Sumeet talked about at the start. That's the thing that you see with these championship teams. The Nationals coming back from 19-31, and of course being able to turn it into a championship year. And the Chiefs being able to overcome all these first half deficits, those are the things that you need to win a championship, and it's just definitely great observations from Sumeet. And I agree with him on the point with the Niners tried to make Mahomes throw it, and he got it done, and sorry, definitely just a great game,
Yeah, and it really shows at least I feel that very good focus on the part of the Chiefs, especially with 3. Like, this one wasn't as big as the other 2, but 3 comebacks to win not just win the Super Bowl, to win your conference and win the opportunity to play in the conference championship game. It was great focus by their entire team. They never thought that any lead was too big, and we all knew, everyone sitting in that room we were with knew that 10 wasn't going to be enough. Needed more of a lead, and they never really got it. But it's their 3rd great comeback, and that just really writes a script. And I have to say, talked about Andy Reid. I have the Andy Reid and LaShawn McCoy Eagles connection, and I'm very, very happy that, because LaShawn McCoy is one of my favorite players of all time. Got a ring, as did Andy Reid, and I'm very, very happy. There's it's to be honest with you, he never should have been the coach of the Chiefs. He should still be with the Eagles. I love Doug Peterson, but never should have fired him. But it's okay. Everything is all good. They got their rings and we have ours, so it all worked out in the end. But just to go over, speaking of running backs, a little bit. Damian Williams did have 17 carries for 104 yards and a touchdown, including 4 receptions, 29 yards receiving, and a touchdown. I know we've talked about this a little bit, Joey. Do you fully believe that he deserved MVP over Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah.
I do too. No, I do too. That's why I'm just
I felt like they kind of ran the offense through him, especially when they didn't really know what play to call. You could tell that they kind of leaned on him, and especially throughout the whole playoffs, he's been a force to be reckoned with. I mean, I think if there was a playoff MVP award, it should definitely go to him.
I agree.
Because he's had a lot of clutch moments, a lot of great touchdowns and everything. And he's a guy that kind of emerged in the second half. And in the regular season, there was a big mix of touches. It seemed like every week the Chiefs were using a different back. But he kind of put himself as the front man in the playoffs. And, that's a tough thing to do. And, you have to have a lot of courage to be able to get something done like that. And we'll bounce to Sumeet now.
Yeah, Sumeet, you had some thoughts?
Yeah, and I was going to say, that was kind of the Chiefs' story overall. Like, a lot of players who weren't necessarily well-known before this season. Like, look at our defense. Outside of Tyrann Mathieu and Frank Clark, Chris Jones, is there any other standouts or notable? Terrell Suggs? All right, but that man's getting old, all right? Like, he's getting ready to retire. His impact isn't the same as it was 10 years ago.
Anthony Hitchens.
I hate to be that guy. he's been all right.
I know him.
Yeah. But what I mean is, our defense especially, and some parts of our offense outside of our wide receiving core are really just filled with guys who are good at what they do, but they're not necessarily amazing. It's almost like the Patriots formula in a way. Their defense was full of a lot of solid guys who not that many people knew, but no one who, like, no super overpaid free agents, although you could maybe argue Frank Clark. But, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another great analyzation, if that's a word.
Analysis.
Nah, whatever. I don't get paid enough to be right. I don't get paid at all to be correct with grammar on this show, so I don't care. But overall, a really, really great game. But Patrick Mahomes did play great. 26 for 42, 268, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, though. But those, like Sumeet said, one of those is not his fault. But Patrick Mahomes did play great, and I think that he'll play great next year. Apparently, there's already power rankings for next year, apparently. And number 1 is not the Chiefs. It's actually the 49ers are the number 1 power ranking, I believe. But going to the 49ers, you, Joey, first, do you think the 49ers can get back? Or do you think the Chiefs can get back? That's a better question. Do you think either of these teams, I know it's really early, and free agency hasn't hit yet, but do you think with the squads that these guys have, do you think they're gonna be okay? Get back? Yeah. What like
a Super Bowl repeat is like one of the hardest things you can do in all sports.
When was the last time? Was the last one that happened was the Patriots?
Patriots
doing it in 38 and 39. Was that the wow? That's 15 years ago.
I never really. I don't think I've ever picked somebody to go back to the Super Bowl. But when you look at the list of these teams, it's kind of hard to not see a good chance for one of these teams to make it back. And I can't really make a call on who. But I could definitely see one of these teams being back next year. And I just think that the way the NFL is, you never know when injuries are going to happen and stuff like that. It's really hard to predict that somebody could go back to the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. But Sumeet did make a good point. Both of these teams, besides the guys he listed on IR, were pretty healthy teams. And that is itself one of the most important things to get to the Super Bowl.
Health.
Within personal example, the Jaguars in 17 made the AFC Championship, and then in 18 they had so many injuries they didn't look like they were close to the same team, and it's just stuff like that can completely derail hopes for a season.
I agree.
If your guy gets hurt, like who knows, Damian Williams could get hurt, and Jimmy G could get hurt again. He's had a history, and it's just that. If one of these teams stays healthy, though, I could definitely say there's a good shot for them to get back to the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. They're both young teams with a ton of talent. I don't think any of them are losing significant players that I know of in the offseason. And
I think, I don't know, I'm going to let Sumeet jump in. Do you know of any notable free agents for the Chiefs?
I don't know of any notable free agents this year outside of Chris Jones, although I do know that I believe they're looking to extend Patrick this year, so that $40 million a year that's been thrown out there, fully guaranteed, that's going to cause us to make some hard choices on our roster. I could honestly see us maybe trading away Sammy Watkins or something like that to free up that cap space if someone would be willing to take his contract, but I really don't know.
He is almost done with his contract, I think, right? Like, I think that he signed a 4-year deal.
They signed him to a pretty long deal.
That was 4 years.
Yeah, but that was only like 2 years
ago. And it was
ago.
like $15 million a year, though. Yeah. But it's a big contract. But I thought it was only for like 4 or 5 years. And he's played on the team 2 years now, right?
Well, you have to remember his rookie year, too. He didn't play at all. And so this would be his 3rd year and then coming up onto his 4th year. And so what I've heard is that the Chiefs front office, their goal is to re-sign him before his contract expires. Obviously, he becomes an unrestricted free agent. And like I said, it's just a numbers game. So we'll see how things work out. But this offseason is going to be kind of tough because we're going to lose some guys who have been difference makers on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, well, it's going to be tough. But by the way, like, I just had this thought in my head. This is like transfers a little bit, but a special, very, very sad note for Emmanuel Sanders. 3 Super Bowls, 3 different teams, 3 losses. Lost with the Steelers in 45, lost with the Broncos in 48, and now losing with the 49ers.
Yeah.
In 54.
That's
got to be pretty
How many
rough.
players have even been to 3 Super Bowls? It's just, I'm sure it's an honor.
Think about it like this. Yeah, it's an honor to be there, but think about it like this. The Bills lost 4 in a row, but they're all mostly the same players. Can you imagine going to 3 different teams and then all of them making the Super Bowl and then all of them losing?
It's more of an unfortunate incident. I think,
no, it is. I don't think it's like a curse or anything like that. But like that's just really sucks.
Yeah.
But anyways, going back, I don't know about the 49ers. I think 49ers players receivers, for the most part, I think are pretty secure. Like, I can't think of a lot of people that are on, like...
Yeah. And Chris Jones for the Chiefs, I mean, he's really, really good.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
that's
they're
gonna
going
be,
to have to
and
extend
they might
him.
have to cut and restructure people to keep Mahomes. You know, and I mean, of course, Mahomes should be number one priority. I think as far as everyone knows, he wants to come back, and, you know, getting him back and paying him what he deserves is going to be the number one objective for the Chiefs this offseason.
Yeah, when John Dorsey was the GM still, I think that was the year that Patrick Mahomes... Whatever the year...
That was the year he was drafted,
So excuse me. So the year after he was drafted, the current GM said that they're going to try to make Patrick Mahomes the first $200 million plus contract in the NFL. And I think that that's great and all, and Patrick Mahomes is really good, but I just feel that, like, with that much money and that much cap hit, it might be really, really hard to sign, like, big name other free agents to help with winning, because... I mean, he's clearly the most important player on the team, but I feel like you got to have good receivers and good, like, offensive linemen to protect him. Like, yeah, $200 million sounds really good, but it's worth nothing if you get hit all the time and you have guys who can't run routes or catch the ball or have running support that helps you open up the passing game, or you don't have guys on the other team that can stop you. I mean, you can score every time too, but what if the other team scores every time? You know, like, $200 million is a lot of money to invest in a guy. And I just fear that if the Chiefs decide to do something like that, which they clearly are, they went public with it. Like, I think it would be pretty dumb of them to not do what they said publicly on for Patrick Mahomes on that scale. Because, I mean, that's like kind of like a contract, like leverage. Like, hey, you told me you were going to pay me this money. I want that money or I'm leaving. Like, I mean, the ball is completely in Patrick Mahomes' court to get that kind of money now that they've said it. So I think...
I don't even know if the max goes that high.
That's
just thinking out loud.
I don't know, but that's what... I mean, it clearly... I feel like it would be a pretty unintelligent GM if he said that,
he's gonna
get... you can't do it.
Of course, I think there's no situation where he doesn't get the maximum amount of money he can get. Unless he wants to take a pay cut. But
which he might.
I don't know what the NFL max is right now, but I mean, of course, it's going to cause the Chiefs to have to reconsider.
Yeah, they're going to have to cut. You know? I mean, like, I don't know what kind
of. But I think in my mind, it's 100% worth it no matter what, you know.
I know, but you kind of understand my point, though, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
look at I don't think Patrick Mahomes
Lions.
Needs leverage.
The Lions gave. Don't get me wrong, Matthew Stafford's a great quarterback, and I think he's going to go down as statistically one of the best quarterbacks of all time, because all he does is throw 4,000 yards every season and like 30 touchdowns. But look at their team. They've got no one. They paid him $169 million plus a $50 million. So he technically overall is a $200 million plus quarterback, and now they can't. I don't honestly. Besides like the people that they've drafted and Darius Slay, I can't name a lot of people on their team. Like, I got Flowers, but other than that too, like
I mean, yeah, you know, the Lions, they're just kind of cursed too. And the other thing is, I feel like I don't think Patrick will take a pay cut, but I definitely think he'll want to stay in Kansas City no matter what because of Andy Reid. And the thing is, when you look at the difference between the Lions and the Chiefs, you can really chalk it up to the Chiefs have a fairly competent front office, and they have a very competent head coach. Not saying that Matt Patricia isn't a competent head coach, just that, you know, maybe he needs a few years to break his system in. But right now, Patrick knows that he can win with Kansas City, and so I think that he'll stay, and I think they'll pay him the money because Andy Reid can make a system around him where he really is the all-star and doesn't necessarily need a huge supporting cast. I know right now Tyreek Hill is kind of the other man on the Chiefs offense that opens everything up. But, I mean, even if we were to let him go in free agency in a year or two, we still have McCole Hardman, who's basically Tyreek Hill light. And, and so I think that through the draft and through building draft capital, we can definitely stay competitive, even if we do sign Mahomes to a $40 million a year contract, especially if it's fully guaranteed, because the kid's special, and you're not going to get that type of production out. You don't want to take the risk of drafting another quarterback or trying to trade for someone, because one out of 1,000 you'll get that production out of them. And I mean, looking at the next year, the Chiefs only have like 16 million cap space, and so trying to re-sign Chris Jones and Patrick Mahomes is going to be a very daunting task. But I think we'll end up keeping both of them. I just don't know at what cost exactly. I think our offense is going to hurt a bit, but we can make an offense work out of basically no-name running backs. No offense, Zach.
None taken. We're doing okay.
Yeah, but we can make an offense work out of like no-name running backs and players. Think about it. Outside of Mitchell Schwartz and Eric Fisher, Eric Fisher's not even that much of a star. He's all right as left tackle, but name like a standout on our offensive line, or name a standout at running back who's just killing it, who everyone's known and who we pay a high salary to.
Former Eagles Super Bowl champion Wisniewski. No, he was good. I know he's not. He's not as. By the way, you probably don't know this. He retired after the Eagles Super Bowl, and then he unretired and signed with the Chiefs, and then he won another one the year he joined the Chiefs. So, no, I don't. That wasn't an Andy Reid connection, but it was like an Eagles connection that I was also happy for him for. But I was like, why? Like, why didn't you come back? Like, I get it. Like, I mean, like in reality, like
he's an older guy.
Yeah, he is old. Yeah, like he's an older guy, and that's why. I mean, he did retire after Super Bowl 52. So like. Yeah, wow, I think it feels so weird to say that the Eagles won the Super Bowl 2 years ago. It feels like just yesterday. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sumeet makes a really good point in where talking about if you have a lot of these guys that aren't the huge names, but they work really hard and they're good at what they do at the skill positions, you can still make stuff happen. You know, and that's kind of what the Patriots have done a long time with the wide receiver group. Besides having stars like Edelman and Randy Moss in the past, if you have a bunch of those guys that work hard and that they want to put in the effort to get a championship, you can get by with a great defense and not so great skill position guys, or having a star like Mahomes lead your offense. And you know, you don't need all these huge contracts on your team to win a championship. You just need guys that, you know, really want to play.
No, I'm kind of with you on that. But like, I'm just saying that $200 million or $40 million a year or what have you just seems like a huge, because I don't know what the normal like cap hit is, like what the salary cap is for the NFL. I don't know those kind of numbers off the top of my head, but I'm sure 40 million is
I think
quite,
the cap
quite the chunk.
It's somewhere around like 190 million or something like that, the total number you can have.
In 2020, the Chiefs will have a $206 million liability.
Yeah.
And the salary cap for them will be $222,634,989, and they only have $16 million of cap room. Like,
so if you're looking at you're spending over 200 million, 40 million is a little less than a quarter
20%,
of that.
20%.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's the math. And you know, I mean, I think when you have a guy as good as Mahomes, you can give 20% of your cap to him.
Okay. I mean that's fair. Like, right. I just don't really know. Like, is there like a luxury tax in the
no,
in the
but
NFL?
there's like
there is
there's
in
like
the
a hard cap. Like, you can't go over this number. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a hard cap also in?
Yeah, in
every other sport.
In the NBA
no,
too.
there's no
besides baseball.
Besides
and
baseball,
like
you can pay people
European
as much as you
football
want.
and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
All right. I think
Sumeet has some thoughts.
Sumeet has a point here. Go ahead, Sumeet.
The other thing is, even though $20 million a year or $40 million a year right now might be a lot, if you think about it, as the salary cap expands, it'll become a smaller relative percentage. And the other thing is, I've read online some rumors about during the next CBA, which is coming up in next year, 2020? 21. Or 21, yeah. That they might think about introducing a separate salary cap just for quarterbacks. And so that might change the game up a lot because of how they want to introduce it, just because of how much the salaries for quarterbacks are expanding.
Yeah, and right now the value of a rookie quarterback like Mahomes, or a quarterback on a rookie contract like Mahomes, it's huge. It's exponential, because if you have a rookie quarterback, you can afford to put a ton of pieces around him. And that's why you see teams like the Chiefs and the Niners getting to the Super Bowl, because, well, I guess not, Jimmy G's on a higher contract now, but those guys aren't on huge deals, so you can get pieces around them. I guess for the Niners, their example would be all the edge rushers they have on rookie deals because they have a lot of guys like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be interesting. And the salary cap does go up every year. Sumeet's right about that consistently in most leagues. And, yeah, that would be interesting. But, yeah, if you guys haven't heard, I think there's pretty much consensus is there's going to be a lockout in 2021 because they're really far away on what they think should be happening between the players in the league.
Honestly, I don't really know too. I know for some reason I know a lot about basketball CBA because that's like one of my least. I don't know why I know a lot about that one, but like for NFL like CBA, like what do the players want and what do
money
the owners want? I know owners want 18 games.
Everyone wants money.
Well, yeah, I know owners want 18 games, but the players are like,
that's not
no.
that's more of a rumor, but that is the thing. But
okay,
I mean,
it's going to be a topic.
Owners want to save money and players want to make money. That's
okay.
basically, that's what almost all of these come down to.
Okay,
you know, and I mean, there's gonna be a bunch of things thrown on the table. We'll give you more money if you play 18 games. We'll give you less money if you play 16. Blah blah blah. Exo facto.
Okay.
You know, I mean, there's no way to really know what's going on until it happens.
All right.
So
who's the player association president? It's always a player.
Every
right?
team has one.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. I didn't know that. All right. Well, fun
my
fact, I didn't know. I just know that the NBA one. I think it's still Chris Paul, but it used to be for a long time.
Yeah, I think it's somebody in that circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it used to be for a really long time. I don't know if that's a side note though. That's not the point.
Yeah.
We're talking about.
I think I'm right, but I don't really know.
Wait, you think I'm right or you're right?
I think you're right, but
okay.
I think every team has one for the NFL.
Okay, I got
I think Josh Lambo is the Jaguars one.
That's
actually.
a weird one.
Yeah.
Kicker.
The GOAT.
I mean, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
But like, wait,
the best
did he play
kicker in the
anywhere else?
AFC.
He definitely played
He played with the Chargers.
Chargers.
Sumeet, you're wrong. By numbers, he was the best kicker in the AFC. Sumeet's tomahawk chopping, which means he's talking about Harrison
Who's the
Butker.
best kicker in the NFC?
I think the numbers were Justin Tucker. Oh, no, wait, no. Not
Justin Tucker is the best kicker
No,
in the AFC.
he had worse percentage than Josh Lambo.
I don't care.
I'm just saying.
He got okay. Look, can we agree that he
I
has
don't know.
more of a?
I think it's Will Lutz in the AFC. Yeah, Josh Lambo can hit him.
Justin Tucker hit. Like
Josh Lambo can make from like high 50s.
Oh, okay. Well,
So
okay.
can Justin Tucker.
Okay, so
Jake
Jake Elliott hit 62. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying. Josh Lambo don't miss, especially at home. Josh Lambo hasn't missed at home his entire time as a Jaguar.
Wow, really?
Yep.
That's actually pretty cool. That's a cool fact. You got because you don't need to. You score more touchdowns than you do. Sorry, by the way, if that didn't pick up, Sumeet said we don't attempt 60-yard field goals, and I was like, you guys don't have to. All you guys do is score touchdowns. So
yeah, but okay, moving on from Josh Lambo.
Oh yeah, speaking of, hold on,
Sumeet.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna talk about something completely different.
Go ahead. Well, spit it, boy.
Since we're talking about free agency right now, the 49ers getting back to the Super Bowl are going to have a bit of a rough time because think about this. They have George Kittle and DeForest Buckner who are both going to be on their last year of their contracts coming up. So they're going to try
I didn't know Buckner was close.
Yeah, his rookie contract's about to run out. So I mean, they're pretty key in their offense and defense. So it'll be interesting to see whether they make it back or not. And if they can just draft replacements or something.
All right, Joe, you were saying?
I think the obvious pick there is George Kittle. But
absolutely. Yeah.
But
no, that's
I think
insane.
George Kittle's best in the game. But
he is if he's not number 1, he's number 2.
Yeah.
Like
so. But do you guys have any more thoughts about the Super Bowl or can I move on to my rant?
I'm just want to close out that I think it was a great game and I was very happy to watch it with everyone and the food and beverages were great and that the bar is certainly set higher next year than it was last year for a great game. Sumeet, do you have any more thoughts to close out?
Just that everyone blames Kyle Shanahan for the 49ers losing the Super Bowl, when people have to remember that if he ran the ball and still lost, people will say he's too conservative. So I think it's more the Chiefs were at the end decided they wanted to win than the 49ers losing it, outside of Jimmy G throwing those 2 picks.
I am 100% agree with Sumeet. I think the Chiefs. I'll ask you right after answer the question. After me, Joe, I think the Chiefs won the game. The 49ers didn't lose it. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I'd agree. And I think like we talked about this with the divisional rounds. Every coach is put in tough spots every game,
especially in the playoffs. like for sure.
Yeah, but it's just, I mean, these decisions are so hard to make, and hindsight is 2020. You know, I don't really think like it's their right scenarios to blame a coach, but you can't blame a guy for taking a shot in maybe a scenario where he shouldn't have, or said he's too conservative, because everything always looks right at the end of the game, or from a fan perspective. You know? You're not out here making these decisions. You don't have allegiances to your players, your other coaches, and stuff like that, your owners. You know, and I mean, I just think that we need to give these guys credits. I mean, Kyle Shanahan is a great coach. Got his team to the Super Bowl, has done amazing work with the Niners, turning them around as an entire franchise.
By football power, whatever the PFF or whatever it was called. What's that called again?
Pro Football Focus.
The 49ers were projected to go like 3-13 this year.
Yeah,
and he brought him to a Super Bowl berth.
That's what.
Are you kidding me?
There was an ESPN guy who they do that board at the start of the year where they're like picking wins and losses.
Yeah, and
he had the Niners like 2-14.
Yeah, and that guy mainly goes off of like PFF. I know who you're talking about. Like he's like a complete idiot. So
he's like bald with the.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. He doesn't know. I know more about football than him probably.
Sumeet really wants to talk.
Yeah, I know. I can see. I just wanted to finish my thought, Joey.
I actually thought people were sleeping on the Niners this year big time, because think about it. They lost Jimmy G last year, and they were having a very solid season up to that point. And so just because losing Jimmy G derailed their season, everyone decided that they were going to be the stank of the NFL this year. And so I think it's kind of unfair that PFF slided them like that, but, you know, what can you do?
Yeah. Just to show how bad the PFF is, I just want to say that the PFF thought the Bears were going to go 15-1.
Yeah. Well, okay. I'll tell you, they use a lot of raw data more.
Yeah,
so
it's a lot of analytics
eye test
stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of times those numbers are right. You know.
Yeah. To the PFF's credit, they did say it was going to be a Chiefs Bears Super Bowl, and I thought the Chiefs were going to win the Super Bowl, and they did.
Defensive Rookie of the Year, Josh Allen. Just saying.
But is that the award that matters, really?
In my mind, it does.
The PFF apparently gets a lot of things wrong, Joseph.
They didn't get that one wrong, but
Josh Allen's a great player.
Yeah, and
I'm so messing.
Yeah, Jaguars, Josh Allen, not
the good
Bills,
one,
Josh Allen, good Josh Allen as I call him. But yeah, and I mean, yeah, really great game.
But we're gonna move on to your Jaguars ranting, right?
I guess we're gonna rant about my London Jaguars now.
All right.
So Jaguars have moved 2 home games to London. That's not in America, if you don't know. That's in the United Kingdom, not anywhere near Jacksonville. So, I don't live in Jacksonville. I am not a season ticket holder. I'm a huge fan. I have been for a long time. This is just really, really frustrating to me. It doesn't make any sense for the team. And in the words of Austin Lane from ESPN 690, if we're trying to win a Super Bowl, why are we doing this? You know, it doesn't make any sense for the team. There's no reason for us to be traveling to London for 2 weeks. And if you think about it, there's huge ramifications. What free agents want to live in London for 2 weeks? What free agents want to come here after Tom Coughlin did all this crap? And a lot of you guys might not even know about this. I don't even know if we have any Jaguars fans listening. But I just kind of wanted to rant about it. And I think that is kind of relevant to other teams also.
Well, are these like 2 games at least back-to-back?
I believe, right now we don't have the schedule, but I think that the plan is to make them back-to-back.
Okay, that makes it... It's not a good idea at all, but that makes this idea this much better. If you can't see me, I am holding up my hand and making it like extremely small. It makes it a tiny bit better, but it's still stupid. And the reason why I say that is because think about it like this. You play 2 of your 8 home games in London. You make the playoffs as a wild card team. That means by the associative property of math, shouldn't you play? It takes 4 games to get to the Super Bowl if you're a wild card team. Mm-hmm. Does that mean you play one of your home playoff games in London?
They might try if somehow we make the playoffs. But yeah, I don't like it at all. If you're Greg Olsen right now, you're sitting at home. You're like however old Greg Olsen is. Do you want to join a team where you had to up and leave for the UK for 2 weeks? Doesn't make
that's like rough on a family too,
sense.
Probably to an extent. Like, and Greg Olsen's, I'm pretty sure he's married and has kids and stuff like that.
Usually
like
guys that age do.
Wouldn't that I'd be kind of rough to have your mom or dad like. I mean, just like take
the kids for 2 weeks.
Some people do that and like they travel for work and stuff like that. But can you imagine him telling his kids, he's like, hey, everybody, Daddy's got to go to England to play a game. Like, what? Like, that's so stupid.
Yeah.
Like, it's for 2 whole weeks. Like, it's different when you go from Carolina to Washington, D.C. and play a game, and you're back by, like, what, Monday or
Next
Tuesday?
day, yeah.
And then you're going to be gone for 2 whole weeks. Like, and I know a lot of their time is spent doing football stuff, but I mean, like, come on. Like, I think it's a little bit
And also,
kind of ridiculous.
2 seasons ago, the Jaguars went to London. A bunch of our defensive backs went to a bar and stole like $50,000 worth of stuff. It's just
Y'all don't have a great,
the history
100% great track record in London.
We do. I think we're over 500 in London, but
Okay.
that's the only thing, you know. And I'll let Sumeet talk now because he seems like he has some ideas
right.
on the subject.
Smeek, go ahead.
You know why Shad Khan wanted 2 games in London?
Tell me why.
Money. Like, think about it. It's the same reason the NFL's trying to expand its fan base abroad everywhere, because more fans equals more sales and money.
Isn't there going to be a game in Mexico this year, I believe?
Yeah, there has been some in Mexico the last couple of years, but Mexico, you don't have to fly. I mean, you have to fly, but
Yeah,
you don't have to
drive.
fly a lot of hours.
No,
Yeah.
like, I don't know who'd be playing in the game, but if it was like the
Usually
Texans,
it
it's like an
seems like
hour
on the
flight.
West Coast
Yeah,
anyway,
it'd be
yeah.
like
But-
an hour flight or something.
Yeah, and Sumeet's right. If you don't know, Shad Khan is the owner of the Jaguars, and right now, all of Jag's Twitter is tweeting #Shad out.
I mean,
but-
that's not their decision.
Yeah, it's not. It is, and the claim is the Jaguars have said they make double the amount they make for a normal Jacksonville game in London, but there's an amount. I think like most of the NFL, I think this is a thing, but they share the revenue for all the games, and then it's divided amongst the teams. I'm pretty sure this is the thing they do. Sumeet says I'm right, but
I don't know.
yeah, I think that's the thing they do. So it doesn't really matter how much. I mean, it matters, of course, but it doesn't matter that you're making drastically more in London if you're putting your players in the league through all these logistics nightmares, and also you're alienating the fans, you know. And I mean, especially if I lived in Jacksonville, I would not right now because I'm only 21. If I was making money and I lived in Jacksonville, I would consider season tickets. But I don't think I would become a season ticket holder under this regime. And I think that I know I follow a fair amount of people on Twitter who are canceling their season tickets. Would you get season tickets if you knew you were missing 2 games a year?
That's the thing. Season tickets for next year better be 25% off.
Yeah, they are cost. There's cost.
Like,
Yeah,
it better be
to it.
25% off. That it should be, because you're missing 25% of the games. Or this is a better thing. You can keep them the same price, but you have to fly out those fans to London to see the game. That's the only 2 solutions. You cut it by 25%, or you spend a lot of money sending fans to London.
I think what they have said is that the prices will go down.
Good.
But,
Well, I mean, once again, this makes this idea a tiny bit better, but it does not make it yeah.
I mean, either way, it's alienating the fans because
it
you're
is.
telling the fans
Yeah.
we don't want to play in your city.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
and
like,
I've been to Jacksonville. It's a lively place. There are videos of our 2017 home playoff game where the crowd is huge, and winning brings in crowds. That's just natural logic. Why do you think the Packers sell out all the time? Why do you think the Seahawks sell out all the time? Those are winning teams. If you win, they will come. You know, it's just I really don't understand.
You know, the Seahawks before they started winning were like one of the least popular franchises
were.
in the league by like a lot, and now they're like one of the more popular ones. Like, so.
And I think that it's just instead of alienating the fans, put out a product that we support and can enjoy. I mean, we're kind of getting there with Gardner Minshew, but that you benched him anyway. You know, it's just, I think that instead of doing all this, you should make a commitment to the fans. You know?
I agree.
Yeah,
I think it's kind of like the message is sent that Shad Khan is sending the message that we care more. I care more about making money than having not a good product on the team, but creating a good product for the city of Jacksonville.
Yeah. And Shad Khan,
that's what it says.
He's a billionaire, you know.
Yeah, he doesn't need money. He's got more money than he can ever spend in a lifetime.
Yeah, and I mean, just take a little bit of a loss. I mean, they say it's always to keep the team. They always say that the end result is to keep the team in Jacksonville.
You wouldn't care if they played one game in. I know you don't care.
I mean,
you guys always,
especially at the start, we've supported the one game in London, and we just supported the team in general as fans. And I mean, it's just hard to see this happen. I think if it was one away game, that would make it a lot better.
Oh, yeah,
also,
or one home or one away game.
Yeah,
that would make it 1,000 times better. Yeah.
And,
it would
it's
still be a stupid idea to play 2 games in London. Still one home and one away.
Yeah, but that's kind of the end of my rant. And, I mean, I think anybody else got any topics they want to talk about?
Yeah, Sumeet, you got anything else to say? Or, like...
That's the honored guest.
It's your world, man.
I'm just going to start tomahawk chopping for the rest of the
All right. Well, we're probably gonna end here,
Sumeet's
guys.
been tomahawk chopping literally.
Yeah, probably every 5 minutes. Like, yeah. But a very, very special thanks to our guest Sumeet Saini for coming on the show. You were great, actually.
He was great,
Seriously, do you want to come on some other time? Like, this is really, really fun.
Yeah, sure, I got you. Next time the Thunder have some drama, I got you.
I mean, they're not gonna have drama. They suck. But yeah, you want to know what the Heat are? Better than that. So
I'm mad at the Heat. They beat my Sixers. They blew us out.
Not even beat them. Like walloped them.
Sameet is a Thunder fan too, by the way.
For some reason.
And that's about.
Oh yeah, because he thought. I remember. Yeah. Real quick. Well, just to tell a funny.
This story pisses me off.
This is a funny story about Sumeet. We'll close out on this. So there's one time where we were watching Oklahoma City Sixers. Correct.
This was the debut.
This was
of the GOAT. Joel Embiid.
Whatever, go. Yeah, okay, sure. He's pretty good. But so Sumeet walked in and he saw
at the time it was like the second quarter and the Sixers were crushing.
Yeah. And OKC was on there, like Oklahoma City, and Sumeet thought it said Kansas City because he likes the Chiefs. So he's like, "Oh, sweet, Kansas City's playing." And then the moment that happened, like I don't know what happened, the Thunder just started like was like, oh, I guess we're gonna, now that Sumeet knows we're watching, I guess we're gonna start trying now. And then they destroyed this.
No matter what team Sumeet roots for, they instantly become good, which is just annoying.
Chiefs,
but
Texas Tech is a good example. Well, not this season, but the season that you started liking them. Caps, you started liking them the year they won the Cup, right?
Or close to, yeah.
Yeah. You started liking them the year they won the Cup. You like the Chiefs, and ever since they were good, I think they haven't missed the playoffs.
He went to his first Nationals game this season too.
Yeah, they won the World Series.
This guy, bro.
This guy is not a curse. He's like a token or something.
Send Sumeet money on Venmo to become a fan of your team.
Yeah. If you guys, Sumeet is willing to like take money to like root for your team. I'm willing to.
If you can make a huge bet and then pay Sumeet a little bit, and then it's like
give,
Uncut Gems.
Like give Sumeet like $50 and then bet 1,000 on that team, and then Sumeet's like, yeah, go Celtics over the Lakers or something.
Whoa. Not Celtics.
Hey, I'm just fine, whatever, fine. Go Charlotte Hornets over New Orleans Pelicans.
I'd take that.
All right, Sumeet, yeah.
No, I'll just change my Tinder profile. I don't even have a Tinder, but I'll just change my Tinder profile to be like, Venmo me this much money and see what happens, winky face.
And that you're gonna, but then when girls do that, they're gonna be. Well, I don't know. You might get men doing that for you, but you're gonna get like, okay, cool. What's your favorite sports team? And then like what? And they're like, yeah, I need to root for them. Just bet on them on Vegas. Anyways, after that weird ending, we're gonna leave it off of that. Again, this very special thanks to Sumeet Saini. Will be here. Oh, we're gonna plug the. Gotta go to our Twitter and follow. Yep. WCNU Cannonball or Cannonball WCNU, and
we're gonna try to get this one on YouTube. I'm gonna try with all of them. During this episode, actually, we dropped our Kobe Remembrance episode.
Yeah, so
and we talked about the XFL a little bit. So go listen to that.
Tune that one on SoundCloud, right?
Yeah, that one's on SoundCloud. I'm gonna try.
What's our SoundCloud?
I'm gonna try tonight to get
Cannonball Sports, right?
These two. It's Cannonball Sports Pod.
Ooh,
we're gonna try at some point to get these two on YouTube. So yeah. The Cannonball links also, the SoundCloud links, every time they go up, they get tweeted. So
yeah. So once again, for the final time, thank you very much, Sumeet, for coming in, and we'd love to have you on again. And for Joey Serva, I'm Zach Herring. Thank you guys, and have a great rest of your day or night.